Draft day. Bryce Young. 5 years later, will he be the man still? I don't know. We'll find out. I'm Shawn and Totri. That's Anthony Totri, and this is the PHNX Daily Bet Show. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts. It's a pretty big day.
The biggest day.
Is it? Would you say it's the biggest day?
I mean, for these kids, for teams, franchises, fans, today is literally the day that you wait the end of the football season for.
Is it ever sad to you that you'll never get to experience what that's like?
Being drafted?
Yeah. Like it's crazy how there is a very finite number of first overall draft picks ever.
No, I don't think so. They've earned that.
They have, but I want it.
You want it?
I would love to be that's one thing I want in life. We'll get to actual content in a second. One thing I want in life is just to be in a situation where I can live my a day as a professional athlete.
I think you would regret it almost immediately.
Well, I just want to live like a day. Like I want to be able to have go be in an MLB game and have a walkout song and have all of my equipment or be selected. Here, Roger Goodell, say my name. That would be cool. Yeah, there's a draft tonight. I'm not getting drafted. He's not getting drafted, but Bryce Young. Well, I guess I don't.
I entered my name.
Did you?
Yeah.
What position?
Linebacker.
Yeah. You got any idea what round you might go?
Definitely 7.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's honesty.
7.
Hey, you know who went 7th? Brock Purdy.
No, I heard the Bengals. My agent said they may want to take a flyer, so we'll see. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I have also heard that the Carolina Panthers may be taking a flyer on this slight quarterback from Tuscaloosa. His name is Bryce Young. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I have.
Pretty good at football. At this point, seems like the consensus #1 pick. On the BetMGM Sportsbook, he is currently minus 2,500 favorite to go first overall, followed by Will Levis at plus 1,000, CJ Stroud at plus 1,400, and Anthony Richardson at plus 5,000. No odds for any defensive players, so pretty obvious that the Carolina Panthers are taking a quarterback. Do you think there's any chance they take someone other than Bryce Young? I
mean, I'll deliver this from 2 different angles here. From a Carolina Panthers perspective, your safe option is to take Bryce Young, and the sports books kind of reflect that, right? The expectation for a while now is you go get a guy in Bryce Young who has proven himself at literally the highest level. There are questions about his size, and a question for me, usually when you get to this point, right, is in terms of quarterback specifically.
I like the vibe you have going on right now.
Bryce Young, and you look at a guy like CJ Stroud even, right? These are guys that had the luxury of playing with the nation's best.
Yes.
You look at a guy like Will Levis and Anthony Richardson, who performed, I would say, at obviously a high level without having some of those luxuries. So you can make the argument.
Especially Will Levis, but yeah.
I think there is, if you're a betting man.
Hey, you don't think Ricky Pearsall is one of the best receivers in the country?
Stop it right now. If you are a betting man or girl, which I imagine the 2019 now, people watching now, I would definitely sprinkle. I would sprinkle on Anthony Richardson. Yeah. You never know. Crazy things happen. At plus 5,000, I think there is definitely value. And just you never know. It's draft night, man. Crazy things happen.
No, crazy things have happened. We were in honestly somewhat of a similar situation in the NHL draft last year. I mean,
lost money on that.
Yeah, pretty widely considered consensus first overall pick, and Shane Wright ended up falling to 4.
Yeah.
And I somehow still made money on my 3rd overall draft pick in that draft because it still was Logan Cooley, which was weird. For the Cardinals fans in the chat, we're going to go through the first 5 picks of this draft tonight. So we obviously will get to what the Cardinals will or will not do with that 3rd overall
let's
draft
just vibe,
pick.
Go 1 through 31.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll be here for about 2.5 hours.
Yo, I got a show at 1, so...
You have a show when this show is over.
Let's just keep former mayors of Tempe.
The former mayors of Tempe can wait. 2nd overall draft pick. This, I think, is the most interesting one. Obviously, the 3rd one is there's a lot up in the air with the Cardinals, but we'll get there in a second. 2nd pick, as we stand right now, Will Anderson has jumped to the favorite for the 2nd overall draft pick, minus 3,500, followed by CJ Stroud plus 300, Will Levis plus 7,500 or plus 750, and Tyree Wilson also plus 750. Am I wrong in saying that Tyree Wilson was the favorite to go 2nd overall yesterday? Or 2 days ago, I believe. So that has changed around a lot. This is the biggest question. If you're the Houston Texans, You have the 12th overall draft pick as well, as it stands right now. Are you taking a quarterback? Or are you going defense?
And we were talking a little bit about this before the show. I think it is hilarious. And this is just the way the draft works and the way, the media works in this point in terms of the NFL draft, right? Is normally the early mock drafts and the early projections are the ones that are the most accurate.
Yes.
Because as you go on, people need something to talk about. Yes. There needs to be some juice.
I forgot to bring this up when we were talking about the first overall draft pick. Remember, I've said this a number of times. As soon as the Carolina Panthers traded for that pick, what did we hear? They were in love with CJ Stroud. You can get him at plus 1,400 right now. I love the value on that.
There's absolutely value there, right? Like, everyone had been projecting a quarterback to the Houston Texans. As we've gone on this whole draft process, people have talked themselves into the fact that their new head coach, D'Amico Ryans, is a former linebacker, a defensive-minded guy. It's where, he made his money.
And Will Anderson likely is the most talented player in this draft.
I mean, you could make an argument for Will Anderson or for Tyree Wilson as well. But at the end of the day, do the Houston Texans really view Davis Mills as the guy? No. My answer is no. And I think you have a new head coach, and what a new head coaches love to do is they love to pair themselves with a brand spanking new quarterback. Yep. And I think that's what they do at number 2. So I am not putting money on Will Anderson. I'm not putting money on Wilson. I'm putting money likely on CJ Stroud here. Or you could again make the argument that Anthony Richardson, there's value in that as well.
Anthony Richardson is the big wild card. Plus 3,000 to go second overall. I would argue, and Josh Allen has made Anthony Richardson a lot of money. Yeah. Because Josh Allen has shown coaches that you can coach accuracy, which I think is a dumb mindset because you can't, right? There's a reason Josh Allen is such an enigma. I mean, you obviously can, but it's not that easy. It's not as easy as Josh Allen. There's a reason everyone says Josh Allen made one of the craziest progressions over the first 3 years of his career of any quarterback ever. So that's interesting, but I feel like this ties pretty deeply into that 3rd overall pick with the Arizona Cardinals. Because, like I mentioned, the Texans have that 12th overall pick as well. They are one of the teams that have, in some mock drafts, have been projected to trade up into that 3rd overall pick. You're the Arizona Cardinals. You obviously need a lot of help, and you don't need a quarterback. Do you take the best player available at that point, or do you trade and get assets? Especially assuming that you are going to be trading back, probably at most back to that 12th, but somewhere in potentially the top 10.
See, again, if I am looking to bet on this pick, this is out of the top 5 picks, this is the one I'm staying away from.
Yes, 100%. You don't know what's going to happen.
You have no idea what those phone calls are going to be like.
We know that the Cardinals want to trade that pick. Yeah. Is the asking price too high? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, and it's also you got to figure, do they value one of these defensive players higher than moving back and getting still a top tier guy, but maybe not to that same level in terms of an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Or even if they're able to get the 2nd or 3rd best defensive player. For genuinely the last 500 days, Will Anderson Jr. has been people have been waiting for him to go because he's been the best defensive player. He's a phenomenal edge guy. I think if I am the Arizona Cardinals, I have talked myself into staying put and drafting Will Anderson. You want to go get a guy that sets the edge. You want to get a generational type of edge guy. That's how you win in this league. You win in quarterbacks, and you win with guys that go sack quarterbacks. Yep. I think you got to make Will Anderson your 1st-round pick here. That's what I would do, but you never know.
Yeah, and obviously lost J.J. Watt to retirement, so obviously there's a need on the defensive line.
Get a game record, man.
It obviously depends a lot on what the Texans do, because if they draft a quarterback there, I think that 3rd overall pick becomes a lot more valuable for those teams that are quarterback needy, right? Yes. If you are the Seattle Seahawks, Seattle Seahawks, for example, you have the Indianapolis Colts right in front of you.
Let's not forget you got the Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, you have the Raiders, who I don't think are going to draft a quarterback. I think they're going to rock with Jimmy G, at least for this year, and maybe hope that Jimmy G is so bad they can lock into Caleb Williams.
How funny would it be if the Raiders traded for Trey Lance, and then you had Trey Lance and Jimmy G
on the same team again?
Vegas,
that would be wild. But I tend to agree with you. If Will Anderson is still on the board, if the Texans do not take him 2nd overall, you have to draft Will Anderson. I think like you said, he's a guy that can be an absolute game wrecker, and I think he is. Obviously, the quarterback is the most important position on the football field, but Will Anderson is the best player in this draft.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talked early on about the whole Bryce Young conversation versus like an Anthony Richardson because they had the talent around him. Defense works a little bit differently in that respect, right? Because defense, it's a little bit more of an individual type of game. So for a guy like Will Anderson to do what he did, right, against some teams like a Georgia or a Tennessee or whatever, I think Will Anderson is a very safe pick here.
I will also say, and I know the buck stops here said trade Will Anderson or trade down. If the Texans take Will Anderson and there is no one to ask or no one that can meet the Cardinals' price, Paris Johnson plus 600. They also need help on the offensive line. He's the best offensive lineman prospect in the draft, him and Peter Skoronski. I would say if you get to a position where they can't get rid of that third pick and Will Anderson has already been taken by the Texans, there's tremendous value there. Obviously, Tyree Wilson is also there at plus 500. But, I mean, you can throw a flyer on both of them. Why not? And if you're going to do it, you got to do it on the BetMGM Sportsbook. Obviously, we've teamed up with BetMGM this season, and we'll be using BetMGM to make all of our picks. And we have a bunch of special offers, including new signature bets. New customers can click into the NBA playoff matchup of choice and hit the signature bets tab, and each game or market are going to have their own unique set of bets. And soon we'll be announcing some PHNX curated bets in the app. It's awesome. And if you haven't heard, obviously the draft is the big deal today, but the NBA playoffs are still going on, and the Suns have advanced to the second round, and we will be doing watch parties for all away Suns games out at the BetMGM Sportsbook in Glendale, across the street from State Farm Stadium. So make sure you pull through there, presented by Neutral, and they're going to have happy hour pricing, including $6 Rally the Valley margaritas. And honestly, the food out there, insane.
Yeah,
that shit goes crazy. We were there last Saturday, and they have a brunch menu on the weekends, and I had a full-bloon pancake breakfast. And we've talked about this before. I don't like lemon-flavored baked goods. They were a little lemon buttercream pancakes. They were fucking bomb, dude.
They gave me chills
they were
right there.
So
I'm not gonna lie, they gave me chills.
Damn good. I also tweeted this last night. BetMGM just hands out bonus bets. I threw some money on the Heat to win the East last night. They were like, "Here's free."
No, you threw money on Jimmy Butler.
I did. I actually tweeted exactly that. Jimmy Butler forced me to do it. But they literally just like, there's a free bet. Like, it feels like every time I place a bet, they're just giving you a free bet too. And sometimes when you go to the sportsbook, they give you free bets as well. So make sure you pull through it. If you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code PHNX. There's a few different offers depending on where you live, but for our AZ audience, you will get up to $100 in bonus bets on your first wager with BetMGM. Again, just make sure you use bonus code PHNX. You can also join us for our Knockout Nights Cornhole Leagues on the first Friday of every month. Saul and I are getting ready to kick ass. Hashtag Team Lightskin. We have some tremendous names. You and Shane, Biggie Smalls. Yeah. What are you and Craig, the Arab Israeli Alliance or something like that?
I have no idea. Craig named our team. I didn't even know we were a team, but can't wait.
And I believe Michaela and Emma are the Addy Daddies, which I love. It's going to be out there. Come see if you can kick our ass. You won't, but we might as well try.
Two more picks, right?
There's going to be a bunch of food and beverage giveaways, all that stuff. But now, the moment you've all been waiting for, listen to the one, the only, Shane Diefenbach, give you the disclaimer.
Disclaimer, 21 plus to wager. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. U.S. promotional offers not available in Washington, D.C., Mississippi, Nevada, New York, and Ontario. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Colorado, D.C., Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maryland, Mississippi, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, Wyoming. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369, New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, Arizona. 1-800-522-4700, Kansas, Nevada. 1-800-327-5050, Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF, Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help, Michigan.
Thank you, Shane. That was actually live. He just called in from Mexico.
That's crazy.
I'm giving that.
You see, he changed his Twitter profile picture?
No, I did not.
Yeah. We're going to have that as our thumbnail for ASU today.
Nice. Hell yeah. All right. Fourth overall draft pick. This is the Indianapolis Colts. They have had quite the experience with quarterbacks over the last handful of years since Andrew Luck unceremoniously retired. Not blaming him. I love that man, but it was not the your most traditional retirement. So they need a quarterback. I don't think that's a question. And obviously, if 3 quarterbacks get taken with the first 3 picks, which I don't expect to happen, but if it does happen, their decision will kind of be made for them. But they are likely in a situation where it will be between Will Levis, who is currently the favorite at plus 125 to go at 4th overall, or Anthony Richardson, plus 150. There's also been talk about CJ Stroud falling. Obviously, there's rumors about his test scores, which I think is bullshit, but whatever.
See, I'm buying now.
I will say, though, before this draft, but like before all this process started, I am not a believer in CJ Stroud. I do not think he's going to be a great NFL quarterback. But neither here nor there. There's a possibility that CJ Stroud is still there, I guess. He's plus 300. Assuming it's just Will Levis and Anthony Richardson, you're the Colts. What are you doing? There's a right answer.
I don't think that happens. I think CJ Stroud's on the board. I think CJ Stroud, in my personal opinion, will be the last quarterback taken in the first round.
Wow.
I think regardless of who's available, I think the Indianapolis Colts take Will Levis. I think Will Levis fits what they do there.
I can't quite put my finger on why, but Will Levis just seems like an Indianapolis Colts quarterback.
Quarterbacks in Indiana.
I just can't. I don't know why. He just seems like he would fit in Indianapolis, Indiana.
He's white. Will Levis reminds me of he's a Walmart Andrew Luck. He's got some of the arm talent there. He is not nearly as talented in every other respect, but I think Will Levis, it makes a lot of sense here. You look at the offensive style that they're trying to build in Indianapolis, and it's obviously a run first kind of offense. I think you can get a guy in Will Levis who can really thrive in Indianapolis from the play action pass. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor is still your number one option there. I think Will Levis, for me, regardless of unless Bryce Young falls here, I think Will Levis is the real pick at number 4.
I agree with you. I don't believe in Will Levis either. I think the only quarterback I'm willing to put my I think the only good quarterbacks from this draft are going to be Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson, and Anthony Richardson's going to take some time. The Colts are not in a position where they can afford to wait with Anthony Richardson, so I don't see that happening. And again, like I said, I think Will Levis just seems like an Indianapolis Colts quarterback, and I think they need a quarterback to not be dog shit like immediately. And I think you know what you're getting with Will Levis. It's a little less of a project. Compared to Anthony Richardson. If CJ Stroud is still there, I do think that's interesting.
It is interesting.
But and let's be real, Jim Irsay he's a goddamn psychopath. He's a crazy person.
He is.
So there's a chance he just is like, I'm drafting Hendon Hooker 4th overall. And we're just like, okay, I don't know what just happened there. So the Colts are a very interesting, a very tough team to predict.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I think Will Levis goes there. And the 5th pick of the top 5,
Shane Diefenbach.
St. Louis.
His St. Louis. Wow.
Whoa. I was going to say St. Louis Cardinals.
Maybe that's where Shane is. Maybe he's not actually. Yeah. No. I think he is actually Schneider. I think he is the general manager for the Seattle Seahawks. I don't think he's in Mexico.
Okay. He's about to make
a pick or make a trade. But the way that I have things playing out, I think Seattle lucks into the dream scenario.
Yes.
And they're able to draft CJ Stroud at pick number 5.
I disagree.
Really?
That is the perfect team to draft Anthony Richardson. See, they don't need a quarterback right now.
No, I agree. I just don't think Anthony Richardson's there.
You think he's gone already?
I think he's gone already.
Okay.
I think he's the second quarterback.
5th overall draft pick currently, and this is the big one. This is the wrinkle in all of this, I think, is Jalen Carter. Currently the favorite to go 5th overall at minus 250, followed by Anthony Richardson plus 400, Will Anderson plus 450, and then your guy CJ Stroud plus 900. Jalen Carter is one of those guys where you just don't know what's going to happen because obviously there's all the character concerns, blah, blah, blah. He could end up falling. There could be a team who's just like, he's too talented to pass on him.
Dear NFL GMs, did we learn nothing from Laramie Tunsil?
Yeah, dude.
It's what can he do on the field?
Yeah.
He's pretty damn good at football.
It's different if he's like getting involved in like criminal activity.
Yes.
You're not trying to draft someone who's going to be in jail, right? But I mean, if it's just like he might be a dick, which to be very clear, I am not entirely read up on the Jalen Carter situation. I don't exactly know what the quote unquote character concerns are, so I don't want to speak out of turn if he did do something that's actually kind of fucked up. But also this is the NFL, so they don't really care about fucked up. Like even he could be a really bad person. They're still going to draft him eventually. I think you got to draft Anthony Richardson here if you're in that situation. I do like Geno Smith, but he's not the future, man. No. I think this is a perfect situation for Anthony Richardson to go. And I do not think any of the other teams are in a position to take that risk on him quite yet. So I like him there. But
it's a draft.
Jalen Carter is a favorite for a reason. You don't know. So those are the top 5. You can also get odds on. Oh, there's some new things that appeared that I hadn't seen yet. You can choose which team you think will draft certain players. Anthony Richardson, Bijan Robinson on there. Bills don't have odds for the Bijan. Oh yeah,
I hate the fact that the Falcons are the favorite.
Yeah, I don't like that at all. Falcons are favorite, plus 150 to draft Bijan, followed by the Eagles, plus 350, and Bears at plus 500.
Yeah.
Interesting. And Texans at plus 500. Remember, they do have that 12th overall pick. Pairing him with a new quarterback could be potentially fun, or pairing him with Will Anderson. I mean, not really pairing him, but you know what I mean. They also have odds for Endon Hooker, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jackson Smith Njigba. So there's some awesome props on the BetMGM Sportsbook. But real quick, your top 5, how do you think it's going?
I think Bryce Young is pick number 1.
I agree.
I think the Houston Texans shock everybody, and they draft Anthony Richardson here.
Wow.
At 2nd overall.
I think that it would be such a mistake, but I
think he is going to be – he's such a talented player. I know he had a bad season, but if you watch what he was able to do his freshman season – at Florida, it is crazy. And some of the plays he made last year were pretty ridiculous. I think get the most talented quarterback in this draft is Anthony Richardson. I think he has the highest ceiling of any of these quarterbacks.
100%. He is the Josh Allen here. He has such athletic ability and such physical strength that if you could just figure out some of those little details, he's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and if I'm DeMeco Ryans and I look at the one reason that we were unable to succeed with all of the talent that we had in San Francisco is because we did not have the most talented quarterback ever.
Yeah.
And I think you go get the talented quarterback. So I think that's what happens in Houston. I think Arizona stays put in this situation. They draft their edge guy, potentially the defensive face of the franchise, and Will Anderson. I think the Colts, regardless, take Will Levis. In Seattle, they get their guy for the future in CJ Stroud.
Okay. I'm obviously Bryce Young's going first overall. I don't think there's much of a question there. But dude, if somehow CJ Stroud goes first overall, the Houston Texans are, oh my God, the Houston Texans are going to be up. Put the word out. We back up. We back up. Because if they manage to luck into Bryce Young, the 2nd overall pick, that is going to haunt the Carolina Panthers for the rest of time.
Yeah.
I think 2nd overall. I think you go Will Anderson here.
2nd overall.
2nd overall, okay. The Houston Texans. And I think you hope that you're still bad and you can draft Caleb Young next year.
Caleb Williams?
Caleb Williams, yeah. 3rd overall, the Cardinals are going to be trying very, very, very hard to trade that pick. I think they get it done. Actually, I lied. I don't think they get it done. I think they draft. No, I don't know, man. I think they get it done. I don't know who they trade it to, but I think this is a spot where CJ Stroud goes.
Okay. Tennessee Titans potentially.
I do like that. If I'm the Titans, I'm hoping that Anthony Richardson falls to you.
Okay.
Just saying. But I would like that. I do think someone trades up to that pick. The Cardinals need to get rid of that pick. Especially if Will Anderson's off the board. There's stuff there for them, but yeah, I think you got to trade it. So I think CJ Stroud goes off there. 4th overall pick. I do think the Colts draft Will Levis, and then I think we get 4 quarterbacks off the board in the top 4. I think Anthony Richardson goes 5th overall to the the Seattle Seahawks. Why do I keep calling the St. Louis Cardinals? I just think they need. That's a perfect situation for them to draft such a talented quarterback that is a project. Let him learn behind Geno Smith, who appears to be a great leader at this point in his career, and a great coach in Carroll. I like it. I think that's a good spot for them. Anything else about this draft tonight? Any other tidbits before we get out of here?
It's draft day. Enjoy it, baby. It's fun. It's a blast.
It is. Make sure you stick around to the PHNX YouTube at 1 p.m. The PHNX Coyotes podcast will be going live with 2 former mayors from the city of Tempe talking about the proposed Tempe Arena, Coyotes Arena, entertainment district. So do not miss that. And then at 2 p.m., Totri and I will be right back in these exact seats talking some ASU football players who may get their name called. Probably not tonight, but in this NFL draft. So make sure you're subscribed to the PHNX YouTube.
And 4:45 PHNX Cardinals.
Oh, of course.
Live from 4
I can't believe I forgot that. Yeah, the big thing.
Yeah.
The reason why we're here, there is a draft tonight. The PHNX Cardinals will be going live tonight, live from 4 Peaks. So if you are in the area, pull through.
Everything else is the appetizer to that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a party there. Also, D-Hop might get traded today. Maybe, please, to the Buffalo Bills. Maybe wouldn't hate it.
As long as it's not the Kansas City
Would like to see it. I would like to see it, to be honest. So just subscribe, hit that red button, hit that bell so you get notifications every time we go live. And like I said at the beginning of the show, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a 5-star review, and follow PHNX_bets on Twitter, and follow the Grand Poobah, the whole shindig, the operation at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You can follow him at Anthony_Totri. You can follow me at Shawn_Pause. You can follow producer Leah back from Canada at Leah Merrill. That's all we got.
Yes, sir.
Carolina Panthers, you're on the clock. Deuces.